Let me join the honeymoon, by user Sailor Fantasy. 2 days ago we announced that on September we are getting married, yay! Yesterday, while talking with my mother-in-law on a video call, she asked if we were going to travel, and we said that we are finally gonna visit Greece. And, then she politely asked if she could join us. I was like, WTF, did she just say? We said no, of course, and then she got angry and demanded it. More or less she said something like, I have never been out of this country, Spain, I want and deserve to travel, I am who gave birth to him, so this should be special for me too, because if it wasn't for me there would be no wedding. She can keep being angry, but I won't let anyone join us, lol, especially because we are paying our own wedding. Edit, wow, so many likes and comments overnight, thanks. I won't be giving her any more info, that's for sure, and my future husband is awesome, he is always by my side, and don't let her continue with her bullshit. Thanks for your stories, I don't feel alone now, knowing it's more common than what I thought. Gonna share this on another subreddit that some people suggested too. Update, Mom wants me to sign over 250k beneficiary check, by user GlitterPlant. Oh boy. Well, some updates are due. First of all, thank you all for your concern and comments in my first post. It was helpful to hear your perspective on the money, and it definitely changed my view on the whole situation. To recap quickly, my dad passed away and he named me as a beneficiary on his life insurance policy. My mom says that it was a mistake and that I am not supposed to be a beneficiary, just my mom. She wants me and my brother to file for the money and sign the check over to her. On the policy, my mom is named at 34%, brother and I are named at 33%, and youngest sister is not named. It turns out that the policy was not made before my sister was born, which adds to the murkiness and confusion surrounding why my sister is not included. My guess is that my dad signed up for this policy and forgot my sister's social, thinking he would just come back to it later and revise, but never got around to it. He was bipolar and did things impulsively sometimes. I think this life insurance policy was one of them. Suggesting we slow down and talk about this policy more has made the bad guy in the family. My mom and brother think I am being selfish. It has gotten so tense that we have to discuss things via email because everyone is getting so emotional about it. My mom continues to insist that he made a mistake. She writes, when Dad took out this policy, his intention was for me, my mom, to have money to pay off the house which is already paid off BTW and have financial means to take care of the family. Dad would never ever intentionally exclude little sis from this scenario if his intentions were to split things between the family. I believe he completed the paperwork incorrectly because he didn't understand how to write the policy to support his intentions. I responded with a proposal. The three of us split the cost of my dad's medical bills for the past 2 years of his illness, hospice care costs and the funeral. After that is settled, my brother and I split our portions into 3 so that my sister gets a share. She does not like this proposal and passive-aggressively told me to not bother paying her back for the medical/funeral costs. I also get the sense that she is trying to guilt-trip me because she keeps saying she can't afford to screen in her porch. Sigh. I am sure there will be more updates. This feels long from over. Entitled Kid Gets Code, by user outlaw_trucker 1977. So I live on a ranch, and we own some cattle. Hay has been really expensive lately, so we needed to sell some cows to afford hay. We had a listing of Facebook Marketplace and some other places about cattle for sale. We had some cows ready for butcher, so we put them in another pen. A lady DMs us and asks if she can come to the property and take a look. We agreed on a time and then discussed what type of cows we had. The day the lady was supposed to arrive, she seemed to be running late. We waited and she didn't show up. Later she apologized for not showing up and she asked if she could swing by the next day. I told her that I was going to be doing some busy work but I'll probably be free later in the day. So it was settled. Next day, I was running some hay to our cows, and when I pulled into the driveway, her car was there. I get out and immediately I am met with, "EP, where have you been?" Me, "Oh, you're here early." I said I was doing some stuff with the cows, but I've got some time to do this real quick. So I take her to the pen and she looks in. She points to the other pen and says, "EP, why are they separated? Shouldn't these guys be together?" Me, "Oh no, we are butchering them this summer, so we put them in there so we can fatten them up a bit." EP, butcher. You torture these wonderful creatures. Now I'm not one to judge someone who is against animal abuse, in fact I am with them. Some of these big industries do treat their animals badly and it's a problem. I am one not to do that. Cows give us food, so I make sure that my cows are taken care of properly. But, what is this lady expecting? I don't care if people like meat or don't, or eat it or not. I could give two shits. But she came out to a ranch, a cattle ranch. There's bound to be co-ed heading for butcher. Oh ma'am, I assure you, these cows are treated like kings. I make sure their death quick and painless. But these are the cows you are looking for. She just scoffed. I take her by the pen we were supposed to be looking at. So how is this Karen an entitled parent? Well, she had a kid in her car. She was buying him a cow as a pet. She had a small trailer, probably only big enough for one cow. At this point she called him out of the car. EP, so which one do you like? EK, I like that one. This kid had pointed to a calf. This calf was too young to be weaned, taken from his mom, so he would have to be sold with his mom. Me, if you want that one you are going to have to buy that red Angus right there, that's his mom and he's too young to leave her yet. EP with a disgusting look, so I have to buy both. Me, yes ma'am. But since she's a mom she's very protective, so let's find another cow. EK, but mom, I want that one. EP, my baby wants that one. He's just so cute and small. I don't want to get anything too big. Me, so if that's the case, you should go look for some miniature cows. I know some sellers and I can get you their contact information. EP, yeah, but I'm already here. EK, mommy, can I go pet the cow? Me, no. EP, sure sweetie. What's the big deal? He just wants to pet the cow. Rule number 1 with cattle, be aware of your surroundings. If you see a cow with a calf, and the mom is high-headed, don't go near it. This kid is too young to understand, but his mom is too fucking stupid to look out for her goddamn kid. Now the mom of the calf this kid went to go pet is a total bitch. She will not put up with anything. So the kid crawls under the panel, and he looked to be about 10 or so. Well, I had to try and go into the pen, but I needed a cattle prong. A cattle prong is just a long rod that delivers a light shock to the cattle. It's the equivalent of a shock collar to dogs, except it's just long so people can stay safe and keep their distance. Her son goes to touch the calf, and the mom is giving all the warning to stay the fuck away. JE gets close to the calf, and it freaks out. Cows kick to the side, not to the back like a horse. So the calf kicked this kid square in the side of the head. He fell over and started screaming. So is his mom. I hate to say it, but it felt so good to see that entitled Karen see what happens when her dumb ass doesn't listen to professionals. But now with all the screaming, the rest of the cattle are wound up. I get my cattle prong, rush into the pen, and as the mom was about to start charging this poor kid, I start herding her away from him, and I get him out of the pen. I gave him back and told her to get the fuck off my property. She started yelling at me, but I just tuned her out. I can't stand people like that. Moral: listen to the people who know what they are talking about. I just saw my entitled mother for the first time in 6 months, by Usarian Space Ace. It's been 6 months since I, 1 AM, moved out of my mom's house, and I haven't seen her or my stepdad since. I'm staying with my grandpa at the moment, and I'm doing an apprenticeship. I've been working and saving as much as I can, and it's been a couple of months since I saw any of my friends. My grandpa encouraged me to make plans with my band. I'm Ace Frehley in a Kiss tribute band. So we met at my bassist's place today. Technically it's his parents' place, he still lives with them, and we played some music. We played our hearts out, and we sounded pretty good, too. No outfits or anything, just the 4 of us in our bassist's garage playing some of our favorite songs. People from the neighboring houses came and started to watch us. Everyone seemed to be having a pretty good time. We finished our last song and then started to screw around, playing bits and pieces of random songs. The crowd gradually dispersed, and we packed up after a while. I was about to get in my car and leave when my mom came up to me. She looked basically the same. Maybe a little angrier. She said, "I'll look past the fact that you left like you did. I'm just glad you finally decided to come home." I asked what she was talking about, and she said, "You're here. I've changed. Come on now, let's go." I said no, and she started to scream her head off at me. People came out of their houses to see me backing up as she came towards me, screaming. My bassist came out, and my mom backed off. She glared at me as she left. I thanked my bassist as he went back inside, and I left. I wondered how she found me, but then I realized she lives down the street from my bassist's parents. I told my grandpa about it, and we had a good laugh. I can't believe that she expects me to shut up and go back there like nothing happened. Well, I'm not. And I hope that's the last time I see her. Update: boss lets her teenage daughter get away with everything at work, by user Angelov Music 5. https://www.reddit.com/r/10vndg1/boss_louse_get_her_source and UTM_medium equals Android_app and UTM_name equals Androids and UTM_term equals 1 and UTM_content equals share_button. To follow up to this story, I thought it couldn't get worse, but oh boy it did. So I started looking for other jobs but still was at this daycare for a bit longer. I was told by the director, not the owner, that I was in the right about the whole vacuuming thing, but she couldn't do anything about it cause everyone had to bow and scrape to the owner. Little princess comes in yelling at me, in front of the kids, that everyone knows I'm on my phone all day. Everyone knows that. Why are you trying to get me in trouble? I told her to not yell in front of the kids, and she stormed out saying good luck getting anybody to work with you in here. Director came in and told Lit Princess that she was dividing the kids in the classroom in half, and she was responsible for her half and I was responsible for mine. This seemed to work okay for the next couple of days. There were about 9 or 10 in the classroom, and we could only be at a ratio of 7 to 1 because of the ages of the kids. 2 days later, Little Princess starts throwing a fit because she didn't want to take a certain kid. She wanted to leave him with me cause she didn't feel like dealing with him. I pulled her aside so the kids couldn't hear and told her I'd take him, but she needed to trade for one of mine. There was another child with behavior issues and he was originally assigned to her, but we had traded. I said I was fine with trading back. She immediately started whining. No, there's no trading. You have to take both of them. You're the teacher, I'm just here to help out and I don't want them. I told her yes, she was here to help, so she needed to do what director said and take care of her assigned kids. She then began yelling louder and insisting that those kids had never been assigned to her. I get to pick which kids I want every day. You stay at 7 and I just get the overflow, so I actually only need to watch 2 kids today. I told her that was definitely not how it worked. Director came in and told her no, absolutely not, she needed to take her assigned 5 kids regardless. But then, director proceeded to lecture me about how you need to listen to Little Princess cause she knows more about state regulations than you. I said so having your AirPods in all day is abiding by state regulations. And director quickly said we had a talk about that and left. Afterwards, Little Princess took 2 kids to another classroom so I could stay at ratio, and stormed out of the building. Of course director allowed it. And when she came back, I still saw her with her phone and AirPods. A bit later, I went on break. I was sitting in the break room and was trying to pay an online bill. I opened my bank app and saw there was only $16 in my checking account. In a panic I checked my history, and there were 2 huge purchases, made the day before, that I definitely didn't make. I thought my account had been hacked, so I grabbed my purse so I could cancel my debit card. Debit card was gone. I had seen it in my purse on Sunday, and on Monday I had only gone to work and back and hadn't spent anything. It had only been at work. The lockers in the break room didn't work, and we weren't allowed to keep our purses in the classroom. I cancelled the card and my bank promised to get the money back, they did, and I went back to my classroom. Little Princess and her entitled mother, the owner, were waiting in there for me. Announces okay, so we need to talk about. I cut her off and told her that my card had been stolen out of my purse. She immediately began fawning and acting oh so shocked, but Little Princess stared at the table and wouldn't speak, respond, or make eye contact. I reported it to the police, but debit card theft isn't really a big deal to them so nothing really got done. But it definitely scared my boss. Sent out a group text to the staff saying someone has been stealing. I know no one will confess but we have to start locking our belongings up and promise to get the lockers fixed. The next day, I was feeling pretty rough, but went into work anyway. Everyone, including the formerly nice director, was acting angry, rude and defensive to me. Told us we all had to skip our breaks because she wanted to have the staff meeting now instead of after work. Still don't get paid for our hour lunch breaks either. I was pissed about it, especially cause I was feeling sick, but I figured she wanted to address the stealing, so I waited to hear what she had to say. She lectured us for a while how we had to follow all the rules to the letter, even though her daughter breaks them all, and praised her own high-end establishment. Like, woman, you're a daycare in a church basement. She finally brought up the stealing, and all she said was, I discovered someone has been stealing, and more people came forward after OP and said they had cash taken from their purses. But we're not going to say anything else about it, cause we don't need that negativity here. I was floored. So we were just going to forget about it. I was getting sicker by the minute and finally had to leave to throw up. I asked to leave, as childcare centers aren't supposed to allow teachers to be in the room if they're throwing up or have a fever. Em told me, go lie down in the break room for a bit and I'll decide if you can leave or not. Finally she came in and said, I'm going to let you leave this time, but I expect you to be at work tomorrow. I don't accept excuses, and we work through being sick here. I've had a hard life and I only value hard workers. I don't know if it's your time of the month or something, but a stomach ache isn't that big of a deal. I looked her in the eye and told her that if I was still throwing up or had a fever I would not come in and endanger kids as per state regulations. She backed down on that but then kept telling me how she had had such a difficult life and only valued hard work. She then began harassing me about a day off I had scheduled for a court date, demanding to know why I needed the entire day and why I felt a court date was important enough to miss work over. Cause she had such a hard life and wouldn't have stayed a whole day off work just for that. I had finally had it and told her a bit of the truth about my background, which I won't go into here, but it involved being essentially held prisoner and forced to work for an abusive family member for 14 years. Em reacted in shock and then began saying all the standard insensitive things. Well, why didn't you just leave? Because I was young, not allowed to learn to drive, had no car, no money, and was kept isolated from everyone. Well, why didn't you sue them? I'm currently in court proceedings against them now, that's where I'll be on that day off you don't want to let me take. She finally had no more to say, then smiled funnily and said, well, I guess you can relate to me about having a hard life then. See you tomorrow. I called off the next day and began aggressively job hunting. Another job called me for an interview the day after, on Friday, so I called off work and went. They hired me on the spot, a high-end Montessori school, no less, and I emailed my boss and quit that same day. She sent me a nasty email about how they follow state regulations to a T and I am obviously very untrustworthy. I did not care. I never found out who stole my card, but all the behaviors point to it being Little Princess, and Em was just trying to cover her butt. I called and reported them to the state for every violation I witnessed. They sent the report directly to CPS, who called me for more details and said they were getting sent to investigate. I start my new job on Monday, making a higher salary and getting a lot of free schooling and career advancement opportunities, so I am doing great and very relieved to be out of that basement hellhole.